Yo, what is up, it's your boy Jay Johnny back here with some Pokemon Pocket news. We are going to be getting into regular uploads immediately after this video going forward. I am so sorry about the lack of uploads. I'm sorry. I've been trying. It's been a lot of chaotic stuff going on. Literally chaotic. I have another channel about chaotic. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the new Eevee set. Today we're gonna do a full set review and see if this set's worth going into, because like honestly, I'm 50-50 on it. I'm 50-50 on it. So yeah, you start off with 69 regular in the core set. So to complete the actual set itself, it's 69 cards, but there's also 24 alt arts and 14 shiny Pokemon. So yeah, we're only going to be going over the regular set because all I care about is the competitive viability of cards. So we're not going to go over the alt arts or the shiny Pokemon. I'm sure you can find them on the internet. I mean, they look really good. They do look really good though. So first up we have Tropius. It's literally just pack filler. There's just better cards in the game. It has 100 HP, but it only does 60 base. It only does 60 base damage with 3 energy attachments. There's just outright better in the game. This is literally just pack filler. I'm honestly gonna start skipping over like pack filler cards. They're in this, so you will see them, but I'm just gonna go like it's literally just pack filler. So next up we have Leafeon. It's not bad. It's a little worse than Celebi. Has 90 energy. It evolves from Eevee, and it does 10 base damage, and it does an extra 20 for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. So if you have a Superior, for example, and you have 2 energy attached, you're doing 50 energy, which that's just not worth it, in my opinion. It's just not a lot. Or no, if you have 2 energy attached, it's 90 energy. It's 90 damage if you have 2 energy attached with Superior on board. If you have 2 energy attached base without Superior on board, it's 50 energy. That's just not enough damage to justify playing it, in my opinion. It's just it's not enough for a 1 stage, you know, because I mean the base damage you should be dealing with a 1 stage final Evo should be 70 at the minimum. 70 at the minimum is the base, because that's what's been set as the standard going forward. So yeah, next up we have Bounsweet. It's literally just a pack filler Evo, 60 energy, 10 damage. It's just not worth it. Then we have Stingy. It's also a pack filler Evo, 80 energy, 40 damage. It's just not worth it. Then we have Serena. It's a cool card, but its damage is too low. It has 140 base energy, and it does 50 damage with 1 grass energy. Your Pokemon reveals a random card from their hand and shuffles it into their deck. The concept is cool, but it has too low damage to really matter. In reality, you're going to be doing 50 and then getting one shot by the opposing Pokemon most times. You may do 100 before getting KO'd, but I mean, in reality, you're not really getting much of a benefit. If they don't play a card on their turn, or if they do play a card on their turn, it's obvious it's probably just going to make them go net positive. It's either going to make them go positive, or it's going to make them go net neutral. So you're slowly dwindling down the hand size, but you have to prevent being KO'd for that entire time period. And for stage 2, you just kind of expect more damage to go with it. Next up we have Applin. It's just a pack filler Evo, 20 damage is just nothing. We have Appleton. It has Sweets Relay. If one of your Pokemon use Sweet Relay during your last turn, this tech does 30 more damage. It's pre-Evo. It doesn't have Sweets Relay like as we saw before. Appleton has Ram, not Sweets Relay. So you're not getting the benefit if you're evolving directly into from an Applin into an Appleton. You're not getting that benefit on the first turn you're playing it. So while it does do 70, in reality, the first time you attack with it, it's probably only going to do 40. Then the second time it'll do 70. And it's just that's just the cap for what other stage 1s do. So it's you start out doing less than, and then you do the cap. It's just like if it was like 40 and then do an extra 40, it'd be much better. It'd be much better. There's just better Sweets Relay's card, and for an Evo that requires a card without Sweets Relay, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it at all. Next up we have Flareon. It does 120 energy, then it has 40 damage. You take 1 fire energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your bench Pokemon. It's literally worse Moltres EX, because Moltres EX caps out at like 3 energy that you can ramp up. It's just not as good. But the one positive it does have going for it doesn't have to ramp to fire type Pokemon. So you could play Flareon and ramp to like Snorlax EX, for example. Alright, the next time we have Flareon EX. It fixes an issue it itself creates, which is to discard energy from itself, and it does decent numbers. It's really good. Its damage output is amazing. It has 150 base energy, which is really good. There's better, but like this is pretty high overall. Then once during your turn, you may attach fire energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. If you do, you do 20 damage to this Pokemon. Now you may be wondering, why do I need to ramp? Well, Fire Spin, discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon to do 130 damage. So it fixes a problem it itself creates by removing the fire energy from itself. And then it's just not it's just not good. Like, it's just if it creates the problem, it itself shouldn't fix the problem. I mean, if it has a downside, keep the downside kind of thing, right? And on top of that, it's also dealing 20 damage to yourself. So the second that you use its ability, you're susceptible to being KO'd by most attacks from most GX Pokemon, bring you to 130 energy. If you have to use it twice, you're done. You're done. You're done. You're just out. Next up, we have Torkoal. Its damage is solid. It does 70 damage, but you have to discard a fire energy from this Pokemon. But it forces you to essentially use your attach for the turn on Torkoal after attacking with Torkoal. 100 base energy is really good, but I mean, the negative downside of being forced to attach to Torkoal instead of like setting up another Pokemon, it's just not worth it in my opinion. Next up, we have Litten. It's a pack filler Evo. Its damage is solid, but it itself is a pack filler Evo. Next up, we have Torcat, also a pack filler Evo. Its damage is less than yeah. Next up, we have Incineroar. Now Pokemon Pocket can be devastated by Incineroar even more. Well, actually devastated by Incineroar because it is. You flip 2 coins, attack does 100 damage for each heads. On average, you're doing 100 damage, but I mean, on the high end, you're doing 200 damage. You can one-shot everything in the game if you hit heads. I mean, like twice. It's just an absolutely ridiculous card. The damage scaling is insane. It's very playable. I don't think it's going to be meta because of the fact that, like, you know, you're relying on coin flips, but I mean, it is very, very playable. Next up, we have Slandit. I mean, it's just, you have to reset the energy every attack. It's not that good. It's just pack filler in my opinion. Next up, we have Salazzle, and it's objectively worse than the Salazzle we got in Genetic Apex, so that's trash. Next up, we have Vaporeon. Has 120 base energy. It's a cool control deck because it flips the coins until you get tails. For each head, discard a random energy from attachment of your opponent's active Pokemon. I mean, but it's also 3 energy, but you can also ramp on with using Misty. So, I mean, it's really cool. It's a really cool deck idea, but it also is mostly relying on getting heads multiple times in a row, essentially, because if you get hit by anything, you're most likely going down to most meta-relevant threats. Next up, we have Glaceon. It does decent bench damage, but I mean, 50 damage for what is essentially your Evo. I mean, you shouldn't be evolving into anything unless it's a support Pokemon or unless it's your finisher. So, I don't like Glaceon very much. In all reality, I do not. Next up, we have Vanillite. Sweet Relay is cool. Most of those are grass, though. I meant to put Psychic here. I screwed that up. And honestly, most of the Psychic ones actually require water energy or require colorless energy, so you could play them with water energy, so you could play Vanillite. So, that's something I didn't realize until after I was wrapping up the whole presentation. But you could honestly play Vanillite, and you don't even have to play Vanillix or Vanillish. You could just play Vanillite and play water energy, and then there's also opens up a lot of support for water stuff. So yeah, that's I didn't even realize that whenever I was making the presentation until like the very end. Next up, we have Vanillish, also has Speech Relay. I wouldn't play this personally. I feel like your load of what you're going to be playing for water is like already high. I feel like, or your load of Evos are already high because you're already playing Alchemy as well. So I don't think this is what you're worth playing in, but I mean, and on top of that, it only does 50. So I mean, like, it's just no, it's just no. Next up, we have Vanillix. 160 KOs most things. So if you flip double heads, it's exactly like I was talking about with Incineroar. It's very good, but you have to flip those double heads to actually make it justifiable. And if you're playing this, you might as well just play Incineroar EX instead. Or Incineroar instead. Then we have Alomomola. Alomomola is definitely pack filler. 50 damage. Opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Unless you're like able to chain this continuously, then it's just not worth it. If they have any way to remove status cons, it's not worth it. I mean, if they flip heads, it's not worth it. It's just 3 energy is just too much for that. Yeah. So next up we have Poplio. It's literally just a pack filler Evo ladder. We have a Brione. It's a literally pack filler Evo ladder. Next up we have Primarina EX. 80 damage for 2 energy, essentially, 40 damage for 1, 80 for 2, and then 100 for 3, and also healing 20 damage from this Pokemon. It's just insanely strong. That is just an insanely strong thing. You can combine this with Shaman and Leftovers and have a solid heal, you know, setup going through, kind of like a Snorlax. I do like this very much. I like the concept. 180 base energy is also very good as well. I think this is a really cool deck that I am looking forward to playing. Next up, we have Jolteon, literal pack filler. 60 damage on the turn. It comes down, but 40 every other turn. On the turn it comes down. It's less than Genetic Apex stuff. So no. Just no. Next up, we have Joltik. It's literally a pack filler Evo ladder. Paralyzation on coin flip is good, but I mean, that's just That's just not enough for only 10 damage. It's just not. Next up, we have Galvantula, 70 damage. But you have to discard all energy attached to this Pokemon. Your opponent's active Pokemon is not paralyzed. I mean, you're only going to be able to do this once, and then you're going to have to set up again. And there is going to be a turn of actual proper setup because of the fact that it discards all energy, not just 2. So, yeah, I like it, but I just wish it said discard 2 energy attached to this Pokemon instead of all energy, so that you could set up multiple to chain them in a row. Next up, we have Espeon. It's a very good meta call. Punishes Ramp. This attack does 20 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. If you're playing against Giratina, then they get Giratina to where Giratina can attack on the preceding turn. You're going to be looking at a total of 80 damage right out the gate. If they have another Pokemon set up as well with Giratina, like they activated Giratina's ability to attach the turn, and then had like attached something else, and now they have 5, you're doing 100. 100 on a 1 prizer is really good, especially for 1 energy. I like that a lot. If they're playing Misty or they're playing Gyarados, I mean, Espeon just outright wins, so really cool deck. Next up, we have Woobat. It's a pack filler. We have Swoobat, it's also a pack filler. We have Swirlix, it's part of a really cool deck I'm looking forward to playing. Sweet Relay is really strong. It itself doesn't matter, it's Alchemy that matters. It's just a matter of, like, you know, you play the Sweet Relay attack. Next up we have Slurpuff, 90 damage on a 1 prizer, exceptional. You help set up Sweet Relay Overload as well. If you use Sweet's Relay during your previous turn, attack does 60 more damage, so you do a total of 90 damage. 90 damage on a 1 prizer is absolutely insane. This is probably the strongest Slurpuff any game has ever seen. Pokemon TCG, Pokemon Pocket, Pokemon Unite. This is probably the strongest Slurpuff has ever been. So this is really, really powerful. I do like this. You're definitely. I don't think you play this just because of the fact that you have to play Alchemy as well. But I could definitely see people playing Slurpuff as well. Next up we have Sylveon, does up to 130 damage. Probably only do 70 damage, which is still average. Attack does 30 damage for each evolution Pokemon on your bench. If you're going like Sylveon, Greninja. Sylveon, Greninja, Shaman, and Oricorio. Yeah, how about those? If you can get all 3 of those set up on the bench, then you're doing 130 damage, which is really good. And on top of that, you'd also have the Greninja set up as well. I think that's magical Christmas Land, but if it is technically possible, if you can do that, this is probably one of the strongest decks in the game. Just objectively, just one of the strongest decks in the game. Does 30 more damage for each evolution, 40 base, so you do up to 130. You go 3 because you're 3 benches, and then 90, so 130. So this would definitely, if you can get it consistently set up, then this is probably the strongest deck in the game. Next up we have Sylveon EX, draw 2 cards on Evo. That's it. That's all it does. That's literally all it does. Once you evolve it, you draw 2 cards. And so that's it. That's literally it. It does 70 damage, but I mean for a 2 prizer you shouldn't be only doing 70 damage. So next up we have the call to action, subscribe for more news for all things Pokemon related, Pokemon TCG, Pokemon Pocket, Pokemon VGC, Pokemon games in general. Not Cafe Remix or any of those games. I'm talking about like specifically competitive games. I might even dip into Unite, but subscribe so you can stay up to date with all that stuff. Next up we have Mimikyu. It's a cool idea. You flip a coin. If heads, choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as his attack. Cool idea, but I mean, it relies on a coin flip and your opponent's deck. If your opponent's playing like some gimmicky slow deck, then Mimikyu is basically doing nothing the entire game. Even if it does something, it might do nothing. So, you know, you never know. Next up we have Milcery. It helps us out of Sweets Overload and Evos into Alchemy, which uses it. That's all you need to know about it. Next up we have Alchemy. 160 damage, KOs most things. So if you're able to resolve Sweets Overload 4 times, then you're able to KO almost anything in the game. If you're able to resolve Sweets Relay 5 times, and you're KOing everything in the game. There is nothing that survives a 200 damage attack, so if you can resolve Sweets Relay 5 times, you just one-shot everything. Big if. Big if. Everything that uses Sweets Relay has like 60 to 70 HP. I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle. It is definitely going to be an uphill battle. But if you're able to do it, then I mean, power to you. That's insane. Next up we have Barbroach, Pack Filler, Evo. Next up we have Wishcash, which is 130 damage, which is a lot of damage, but it requires 4 energy and also does 10 to each of your bench Pokemon. 4 energy is honestly too much to expect somebody to equip in a regular span of a game without ramp. So I gotta give this an L card. I gotta say L card, but I do like the amount of damage that it does. So that is really cool. Next up we have Minfu, which is pack filler. However, it is also the Mienfoo from, I believe, Furious Fist, and I love my X and Y era. I love my X and Y era for Pokemon, so this is really, really great. Next up, we have Mian Xiao. It's a standard damage, 1 final stage at Evo. It does 70 damage for 2 energy. That's standard. That's really standard, so that's pretty good, too. Next up, we have Carbink. Flip a coin. If heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. It is literally just a funny, invincible deck. You can just keep doing this. If you keep flipping heads, then you automatically win the game. As long as you're flipping heads, your opponent can't win the game, which I think is really funny, and I would like to do an entire video where I just do nothing but play Carbink, and like a bunch of support cards. So yeah. Next up, we have Umbreon. It has a chance to auto win the game. If the defending Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. But it can easily be stopped by your opponent retreating or by them evolving their Pokemon. They can also, if you also take the KO on their Pokemon, then they also are able to just, you know, kind of like attack with their next one. So that's, yeah. But it does have a chance to auto win the game. There is a non-zero chance it can just automatically win the game. Next up, we have Sableye, which is also pack filler. Next up, we have Purloin, which is also pack filler. Next up, we have Liepard, which is standard 1 Evo, which does 70 damage on attack. That's fine. Next up, we have Mawile, which is also pack filler. Next up, we have Togedemaru, which is also pack filler. Next up, we have Meltan, which is also pack filler. Next up, we have Melmetal, which is also pack filler. Next up, we have Tritini, which is also a pack filler Evo ladder. Next up, we have Dragonair, which is also a pack filler Evo ladder. It's technically objectively worse than other stage 1s because it requires 2 energy and also only does 60, so it's technically worse. Then we have Dragonite, which is probably the strongest Pokemon in the game, attack-wise. During your next turn, this Pokemon's attack does 180 damage. It literally one-shots everything in the game. There is nothing that survives this without having a tool on it. This is the strongest, the single strongest one-shot card of the game. Next up, we have Drampa. It's also pack filler. Next up, we have Eevee. It's better than the EX because it's a 1-prizer, but it's also essentially pack filler. Next up, we have Eevee EX, which is just, bruh. 60 base energy for the non-EX, 90 base energy for the EX. Do you see that? Do you see that? This one gives you hand advantage. This one does 30 damage. This one gives you hand advantage. This one does 30 damage. Bro, this is objectively worse than this one. It's just bad. It's just bad. You sacrifice drawing a card to deal 30 damage for 30 extra HP, but if you die, then you lose 2 prizes. This is objectively worse. I know why it exists. It exists solely so that you can evolve. So you can play like multiple evolutions, because if you play like you can only play 2, you know, EVs per deck. So this exists so you can play 4 EVs per deck, because EX doesn't count as actually EV. So that's why it exists. But like, bruh. Absolutely, bruh. Next up, we have Snorlax EX, which is a cool stall deck if it's combined with Leftovers and Shaman. Leftovers will heal 10 damage at the end of each turn. Snorlax EX will deal 20 damage, heal 20 damage at the end of your turn, and Shaman will heal 10 damage on your turn. So you just heal 40 damage without playing any items or supporters. I think it's a cool stall deck. It does 130 damage, but it goes to sleep afterwards. You can combine it with cards like Malsada to heal your status conditions. This seems like a really cool stall deck. This seems like a really fun and cool stall deck. I do like it a lot. Next up, we have Apom, which is pack filler Evo. Next up, we have Ambipom. It tutors out tools, and that's all. It lets you search your deck for a tool card and put it onto a random Pokemon. Or you search your deck for a random tool card and add it to your hand. That's all it does. That's all it does. That's all it does. Which is really cool. We didn't have one before, but I mean, like, it's fine. Next up, we have Chatot, which is pack filler. Next up, we have Audino, which is pack filler. Next up, we have Mincino, which is pack filler. Next up, we have Cincino, which is pack filler. Next up, we have Squovit, which is also pack filler. Then we have Greedent, which is 100 damage, which is above average, decent for a pack filler card. If you have a tool attached to it, then it does another 50 damage, so you do 100 damage total. Equip it with the Rocky Helmet, and you're going to be able to dish out 120 damage per rotation if they're attacking you. You could also equip it with a Giant Cape, so you're able to take more attacks. I mean, 120 is already really good. Put a Giant Cape on it. That's yeah. So next up, we have Eevee Bag, which increases the amount of damage, but the amount of damage increase doesn't actually matter. 10 damage is not enough to change most stat rolls with the evolutions. They just don't do enough damage for that to matter. And in the case of Glaceon, it literally does not increase the amount of damage. So next up, we have the heal, and then its second ability is the heals 20 damage for each of your Pokemon that evolves from Eevee, which is really good, especially for Flareon. You're definitely only playing this for Flareon. This is like, if you're playing this, you're playing it for the Flareon. I guess you could play it for other decks too, but I mean, odds are you're not surviving in the current meta with, you know, a evolution. The most of them, you know, were kind of like mid as it was and didn't have the damage output to make it matter. Then we have Leftovers. Already went over it at the end of his turn that this Pokemon isn't attached to its Pokemon on the active spot. Healed 10 damage to that Pokemon. That's insanely good. That's insanely good. That's like really strong, especially for tankier decks like Venusaur EX, which also has a healing ability, Snorlax EX, which has a healing ability, Giratina EX, which deals damage to itself. This will allow it to stay in the game maybe a little bit longer, and Primarina EX, which also has a healing attack, so yay. Next up we have How. It's very good. It does an extra next to your Decidueye, Incineroar EX, and Primarina EX is all do additional 30 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Really good. If you're playing these decks, you should play this card. That's all I got to say to that. Then we have Penny. Its effect is random, no proper control over it. It's a cool idea, bad execution. It should have also milled the supporter, in my opinion. You get to look at a random supporter card that's not Penny from your opponent's deck and shuffle it back into the deck, and use the effect of that card as this effect of this card. Most Pokemon Pocket tournaments are open team sheet, so you're going to know what you're having the chance to get. So as long as you're paying attention to what your opponent's playing, or you're watching what your opponents are playing, then you're going to be able to have a good idea of what they're going to be able to play. So a cool idea. It's bad execution. I really think it should have also milled that supporter as well. Next up, we have the wrap-up for the set. Espeon and Flareon EX are the only real viable evolutions. None of them are really that good. Espeon is probably the better of the two. Flareon has the damage output, though, and combine it with Eevee Bag, you can mitigate the self-damage. Next up, we have the Dragonite EX, Snorlax EX, Sweet, so Relay, and Primarina EX are all cool decks. I'm looking forward to building each and every single one of them. Dragonite EX having the cool, like, one-shot, Snorlax EX having the slow roll, Sweets having the ability to set up to instant KO almost anything in the game, and Primarina EX just effectively being a cool stall deck. I really like them all. My final analysis for this set is probably that it's a mid set. It could be better, it could be worse. So I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10. I liked all the cool concepts it introduces to the game, but I really wish that we'd gotten some better items and supporters. I feel like we were missing cool items and supporters, and I feel like introducing an Eevee set definitely would have been a cool idea, a cool point to introduce something that would allow you to play an Eevee on the first turn that you play on the first turn of the game, or that would allow you to ramp out specific color energies or anything like that. I feel like that would be a cool concept and a missed opportunity. But I mean, overall, really good set. I like it overall. I think 6 out of 10 is a fine grade for it. But yeah, so. Yeah, that's the end of the video. If you guys like the video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I hope that I did a good idea. I'm sorry I skipped over all the pack filler cards, but if they're worse than the stuff we already have, I'm not going to cover it, you know? But that being said, I have been Jay Johnny. This has been Jay Johnny Pokemon, and I will be seeing you guys later with another Jay Johnny Pokemon news video.